change.
Little trade another day.
And tomorrow, I'm the biggest bear out there. So be it.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Live to trade another day. Live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Is it the bottom yet? I'm trying to buy up everything. Not gonna get upset. Just pull the trigger, let it bang. When I see a trade, I'm hopping in like a Uber to secure my future. Up early just like a rooster. Eyes glued to the computer, looking for a bag or two. Market cipher on the screen, compliments of trading view. Now I know what I'ma do. Buy low and sell high. Even if you try and fail, at least you didn't fail to try. I don't wanna be the type of guy that let fear win. I'm the one that dive in head first and bust my chin. I know FOMO is a no-no, but I still get it in. Now I can't predict the future, but I know I'm bound to win. Later or sooner, I'll be the big kahuna. Cause I got big kahunas. I was not scared to get money, I took me some chances and now I'm the big kahuna. And if you scared, might as well get neuter. I'ma keep chasing my dreams. Wake up and mansion so big, I need a segue to get from wing to wing. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Don't be scared, G. Like paid in full, get your bread, B. Cold wallet full of crypto, yeah, Big Lebowski. Can't forget to tip the waitress. Fear and loathing in Las Vegas. Tupac told us about the changes. People hating on your greatness. Mansion looking hella spacious. Shoes, they ain't got no laces. This the Aquarius age. Life happen in different phases. Out with money, in with crypto, analog to digital. Could've been rich, but you was scared. What a imbecile. Say you want a miracle, but you bet the minimal. Should've bet it all. Hell no, not the unthinkable. Grow some balls if you got a pair. Man, I double dare you to put it all in the market. No sir, I'm not trying to scare you. Seeking and searching, I need some more money. AI is scary, make us look like dummies. Serious about profit, I need it, I'm hungry. My music all over, but I'm from the country. Bank account thicker than Manuka honey. Got multiple wallets, don't go in my pocket. Ether's a favorite, but I don't discriminate. Scared to get money, get the hell up out my face. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, live to trade another. Live to trade another day. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day. Live to make another play. Live to trade another day. Live to trade another. Live to trade another. Live to trade another day. Live to trade another. Live to trade another day. Another day. You scared. You scared.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So just want to make sure, just check in with the chat that we sound good, we look good, and you guys are ready, you're willing, you're able, and you are ready to listen, to learn, and to continue to be bullish on crypto. What's going on, my friends? Everything good? Everything good? I hope you guys are feeling good. I hope you're feeling well. It is FOMC day, which is a day that for some reason leverage traders, they love this day, even though it's one of the more volatile days that the market loves to get us excited. We know that there's an obvious thing on the calendar here that we are wanting to focus on, that the market's kind of been pricing in. You know, we obviously know that the Fed is going into quantitative easing, which just means that we are going to be slowly cutting the rates, not super aggressively, but just slowly each time of these meetings. We have one of these meetings, an FOMC meeting today. It's kind of one of the big things that's happening today. In 2 hours, you know, we have this meeting. We know they're going to cut the rates, but it's really, that's not what we're focused on. We're kind of wanting to focus always usually on the tone of the Fed, what they're going to basically allude to of their softening in all different areas, and if they're going to acknowledge the fact that the market is still bad in certain sectors, like the jobs sector, like housing, like things that are really important that keep people's livelihoods intact, and where we can actually plan for the future. Because that's what's usually been the problem here, is that even the Fed has been signaling, hey, we don't have enough data so we can plan for the future with all the tariffs and all the things that are happening. But now that, you know, we know the data. People are struggling. That's the data. You know, people are definitely struggling. And also, guys, let me know if my mic is too loud, because I see it's peaking on my side. So I need just let me know if it's too loud. I feel like it's just a little too loud. I want to make sure I'm not peaking or hitting the gain too hard. How is that? Is that better? Let me know, guys. But yeah, so really, we just want to know that the tone of the Fed is, are they going to continue to cut the rates? Yes. Are they going to signal that they should have helped a long time ago? I don't know. Well, they're going to go on this plan, and we're going to see how it's going to shake out. But it's all correlating with the legislation of the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, that has a lot to do. Okay, I got a thumbs up. So it has a lot to do with what's going on in the government in terms of the legislation for crypto. So for 4 years, and for the history of crypto, it wasn't even a talking point. It was more so like, hey, we're going to debank you, and we're going to make it really hard to operate and do business in America. So then a lot of that innovation, a lot of that stuff was pushed out. And now we have the most bullish setup we've ever wanted in crypto. But I think it goes in line with this master plan I think is happening here. The master plan, and this is my tinfoil hat theory, okay? It has to do with gold, it has to do with Bitcoin, it has to do with crypto, blockchain, it has to do with retail mindshare, it has to do with the jobs, it has everything to do with AI, it has everything to do with all of this connected together. And so instead of going in this crazy, you know, long explanation, I'll just give you the cliff notes of this theory. We'll start with AI. Okay, so we know that AI is disrupting the jobs market, and it's also disrupting how companies are going to be operating and investing over the next 10, 15, 20 years. Especially in certain sectors, okay? So then that is going to have jobs are going to go away, and then there's going to be kind of long periods where people are going to have to figure out what they're going to do for work. and they have to figure out a whole new skill. They might have to learn and get into a completely different type of thing that they've never done before. But there's also going to be a lot of people that are not going to do that. And so now we go into the stablecoin legislation. Why are they letting it and making it easier for states to issue stablecoins, for companies to issue stablecoins, to have all of this stuff about stablecoins? Why? Because I think eventually each state is going to mint a stablecoin that is going to be used for the universal basic income for people that end up losing their jobs en masse because of the AI and because of how our jobs and how our society in terms of workforce is going to change. And the only way I think that we can combat not a massive a massive problem that would be thousands and thousands of people out of a job and becoming desperate, which the government never wants. People become desperate and there's unrest and people are hungry. That's not good. That's never been good in history. Whenever that's happened, it's always ended bad. So what will fix this is the blockchain era and the stablecoin minting and all of the legislation that's going into it. And then you get into the gold, retail, buying gold. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. So you go over here and you look at the search term for the past 5 years. Gold has been basically only, besides this times in 2021 when we had the little retail peak of altcoin season and the last cycle. And then we just had a little bit of peak in 2022 during kind of FTX kind of heyday, and then we got rugged. And then coming back in was all of the Trump stuff, the lead up to the Trump presidency, and then that spike, and then those were the only spikes we've had over the past 5 years. And so all through this, gold, now you see right at the tail end of gold's 25-year breakout and hitting a resistance, and also completing its cup and handle pattern breakout, retail starts running to buy gold. Also, nation states and all of the world is buying gold. And I think the play here is the United States has purposefully set up the world to go into gold to then for us to sell our gold reserves, which Cynthia Lummis has presented, and she's trying to get this pushed through. And I think that's the plan. We're gonna sell the gold, and then we're gonna buy Bitcoin, and we're gonna set up this new Bitcoin standard and hold it for 20 years or however long until Bitcoin's over $1 million per coin. And this is how we're going to basically rebase and revalue our $37 trillion national debt, and basically be the front runner in a new money system that the entire world is eventually going to end up going into, because their fiat currencies will go to zero. Okay? This is what I think is ultimately happening, and retail has no idea. But instead, they're going to still FOMO into gold, and they're going to compare crypto to Beanie Babies. But we're here to hopefully, if you're listening right now and you're new to crypto and you're thinking, you're trying to dip your toe into it, you're trying to understand, why should I even pay attention to this? I've been told it's a scam. Well, guess what? The whole system's based on a scam. And the only way out is through scarcity, okay? Because where there's infinite money printing, there are things that exist in this world through code and also through physical that have scarcity. Some a little more better than others. And so we're here to demystify that whole thought process of why you should even be bullish crypto to begin with, and so why you should be accumulating, doing less trading, and trying to beat Binance liquidation hunters, and just start to really look at what is actually being bought up by the institutions by looking at stable coins being minted on these chains like Hyperliquid and Polygon, Avalanche, Ton, Aptos, Sui, Mantle, Solana, Tron, Ethereum. Look at the 24-hour trading volume. And we're going to get into some really interesting news today. Biggest one is the blunder and possible bag fumble of Metamask. This is very controversial because Metamask was kind of the pioneer of Web3 wallets. And they've had a lot of very loyal users for a while, but then also they've had a lot of people leave. They've had a lot of people leave because they just it's had the user interface and the user experience has been a little clunky. It's been very dry, but they've gotten a little bit better. But when wallets like Rabby or Phantom or even Trust and the other wallets that are like Brave has a really nice wallet that's been multi-chain that has Solana support. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Coinbase started to come out with the wallet where you could just do just not even do a seed phrase, just try to make it more user friendly, because crypto is very much a kind of, people get walled and stop at points where they're like, this is too much. I would talking with friends and you start even talking about different networks, they tune out. They don't even know what you're talking about. They don't want to have to be the user in the back end where they've been using Web 2, which everything is done in the back end for you. On Web 2, you don't see it. You don't see it, but in Web 3, you see it. You're like, oh, I'm signing the contract and the transaction to do this and that. In Web 2, in Web 1, this was explained in a really good video, actually, that was a Congress hearing where all these crypto founders were talking about the difference between Web 1 and Web 2 and Web 3. Web 3 is we have ownership and can see what the hell's going on. Hence why we're able to confidently say Binance is manipulating the market, because you can see it on chain. And so taking part of these ecosystems, we're early. We use MetaMask. It's our digital ID. When we talk about digital ID, this is our digital ID. This is how we sign in to our financial ecosystems that we want to take part in. And without having to go through third parties to get permission, we just sign in. That's what the digital ID really is your EVM address, your freaking multiple wallets and all that stuff, because you vote with your money and you actually, that's how you are voting now in the digital realm, with your volume and where you're putting your users and where you're putting your time. Why do you think Solana got so much market share? Because it actually did get real crypto users. And then the same with Ethereum. No, it was the first pioneering smart contract platform. It still has the OGs. But then in terms of developers, Solana definitely did it. But yeah, so let's get into MetaMask, all right? So MetaMask, why I'm talking about this is they were hinting that they're going to be doing this token airdrop. There will be a mask token. Joseph Lubin has hinted at this. And they did a massive campaign building up and saying, look, it's coming, it's coming. Then they launched perps powered by Hyperliquid, okay? Which a lot of platforms are doing this right now. They are adding perpetuals to wreck people on 100x leverage, and then also farming points from them, and then getting the people to use perps, okay? So this is what people are really kind of pissed about. So instead of just doing the airdrop, like say Jupiter, or say Foxy, or say even Pingu rewarded you for your EVM activity and your Solana activity on multiple wallets. So some people were able to get thousands of dollars of Pingu airdrop No problem. And it was based off your activity score, not just like, it was based off everything. And so Metamask comes in and says, instead of just doing like a true airdrop to users who have been proven on chain that they've been using Metamask for however long, however many fees they've paid to Metamask, using the platform inside of the dashboard, even though it was clunky, even though would make you have a heart attack because your balances would all of a sudden disappear, your networks weren't showing up, and we still used it. That's what's sad, is that people were still even trying to use it because they're like, look, we're early, we're gonna get an airdrop, and then Metamask comes out and says, Rewards Season 1 is now live, which is now the theme with all these companies trying to farm us with the points and all of this stuff. And then you farm these points and you realize that 1,000 points only gets you like $50. And you're like, I just got rugged. So the point system is set up here like so. Metamask rewards works similar to in real life loyalty programs. Okay. We don't care about that. We want the token. Trade, swap, bridge, and refer using MetaMask. Earn rewards with every action. Unlock new levels and benefits over time. And the sad part is that the rewards and the points that they're building up right now are all based on a Linnea airdrop and no mention of actually getting the actual Mask airdrop token. It's all based on trying to get people and farming them into Linnea. And then I checked, if I could even get the Linnea airdrop, I wasn't eligible. I'm like, okay. So, so I'll only be eligible if I continue to use MetaMask right now, even though I've been using it for 4 years. So this is what people are really upset about. They're like, this is crazy. So this is how they are doing their seasoned farming airdrop, and we have some bookmarks to show you. So Moondog said, or Mondog said, MetaMask really saw the backlash against OpenSea's farming this exact way and just said, F it, let's copy these guys, but let's make the seasons longer with worse prizes. And then Pranksy said, I hope OpenSea takes note of the backlash from this rewards program. As far as I can see, it's mobile app only too. That's also what's ridiculous, is that you go on MetaMask and on their dashboard on your computer, which most people are using it. Like some people are using obviously on the phone, but it's not on the reward section, isn't even built in on the dashboard on your desktop. So it's mobile app only, so iOS only right now to make it even worse. iOS only, and OGs have been thrown under the bus, and then the bus reversed back over to finish the job to make sure we're dead. And so this person said, this is just awful. And so, and this person kind of just summed it all up of what's been happening on crypto Twitter. And if you've been watching it and watching the timeline through the lens of crypto Twitter and kind of just trying to see it from a zoomed out perspective, this person kind of put it together. He's like, I'm tired, bro. He's like, tired of pretending this is normal. He's like, crypto is not a scam. Like, I feel like it's you know, there's more of a chance of being able to free yourself in crypto than the old system. He said, it's just that the biggest fraudsters are now the ones in charge. He said, same chair warmers and inner circle mafia as fiat, just wearing decentralization as a costume. And here's Greeny. He's pointing out, and he's like, what MetaMask level are you aiming for? And someone said just 0. So here's the points. If you're level 1, Origin, 0 points. Level 2, Frontier, rewards Linnea token allocation proportional to your total points claimable at the end of the season. So, yeah. So right now I have 2,500 points. So I'm in the level 2 portion here. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I get like $50 or not. And then yeah, I was gonna go. I agreed with James Wynn and CZ, But some of these accounts, they've been caught, you know, farming people on certain tokens or posts and, you know, not disclosing that they got paid to say certain things. And that's the thing with crypto Twitter. You never really know. You can't trust every account because they might be getting paid. And then I'm like, dang, what have I been doing? So Greeny said, he said, no, man, this isn't it. God, I hate these fake Twitch people like this. These fake Twitch people that come on. I really enjoy your stream. Hit me up on Discord. He said, no, this isn't it. He said, these greedy MFers. He said, when you think of pioneers in crypto, you think MetaMask and OpenSea. And that's kind of when I got in. That's what I thought. I was like, okay, I gotta get familiar with really like learning MetaMask. Just kind of get used to using it. Same thing with OpenSea. I even, you know, I minted NFTs on OpenSea. I created my own NFTs on there. I was trying to figure it out. Both are now farming us. Both chasing more reward systems and points and leaderboards and bonuses. And he's like, who cares, man? Reward the people who built your foundation, the users, the traders, and creators who made you relevant in the first place. That's very true. I agree with this. Said MetaMask could have absolutely smashed this. Reward historical wallets first. Like historical wallets that have been proven that they were using their platform early on. And I feel like it shouldn't be based off of like, oh, if you had $1 million or not. No, you should be rewarded even if you risked $100 to freaking download MetaMask. Damn it. It's ridiculous. No respect. So I totally agree with this because when I start to think about this, I get heated because it's like, how many times are we going to put our necks out on the line to promote crypto and do all this stuff and then we don't even get rewarded? And so it says, even give multipliers to OGs for sticking around and participating again. But no, another big loss from another OG juggernaut that forgot who got them there to begin with. So we will see. We will see. You know, sometimes you pick stuff and you have to play the long game. And hopefully with playing this long game in crypto with some things like MetaMask, you know, you just have to see what happens. All right. So this is pretty fascinating. We're going to correlate all this with how it's going to just keep continuing to get worse. It's going to get worse. So recent layoff announcements. Okay. This was just recently, UPS, 48,000 employees, Amazon, 30,000, Intel, 24,000. Do you see the pattern here? Nestle, Accenture, Ford, 11,000, Microsoft, 7,000, Salesforce, Paramount Picks, 2,000, Target, 1,800, Kroger, 1,000, Meta, 600, Applied for Tech. Just like all these companies are starting to lay off. But then there's also some observation about this, and there are some different opinions on whether it is AI that's disrupting this, or if it's just kind of like a delayed reaction of earnings and what the tariffs might have done. Maybe from COVID, a lot of stuff was absorbed. And then now that the 4 years and the 5 years of kind of like things unraveling, now they're starting to go back in and sift through. Maybe they audited everything. I don't know. I think it's a combination of both. It's probably a good combination of both, where these companies are realizing the shift and they're going, this person's worked here for 15 years. They have a pension. We're paying them this much. My wife actually gave a good assessment of this. She was like, look, these companies are probably paying these people $100,000 a year, but then they realize they can actually fire them. They can just take their pension and go, and they'll hire some 20-something coming out of college that's like, and they'll pay this person $60,000 a year instead to do what they were doing and make them work like double the hours because they're like hungry. They're like, oh my God, I've heard that no one was getting a job. I'll take it. Do you see what's happening here? The manipulation. So it's like, that's kind of what is, I think this is what these companies are doing. And they're probably just assessing where they have these sitters on these big high paying salary jobs that they could just fire them. They have AI doing all their writing and emails and all their stuff, and an AI agent doing all the stuff that they were doing with no typos, no messes, no mess ups, no nothing. And then they have Sandra, who just got out of liberal arts school, and we'll just pay them $40,000 to do something else. These companies are smart, and they are sharks, and they will operate at the highest where they can make sure that their margins are covered. You are the pawn. That's why you need to learn how to get your money working for yourself and also creating your own businesses, because these companies will slice you.
To allow people to build.
Morning. Here is the question of the morning. Are AI layoffs real, or are they a scapegoat for what's going on in the employment picture in this country? Christina Partsinevelos joins us now with that story. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Well, Amazon, Chegg, Microsoft, Meta, Salesforce, the list continues. Tech companies just are cutting tens of thousands of jobs, and some of them are blaming AI. But at NVIDIA's GTC in DC yesterday, top CEOs were telling us something.
Speaking of NVIDIA, for the first time ever in history, a company has now surpassed a market cap of $5 trillion. Now, you remember we were showing you the AI bubble that NVIDIA is powering and basically propping up all of the other biggest AI companies. So if NVIDIA goes down, it all goes down. How long can this last? We'll have to see. I'm very curious.
Completely different about what's driving these cuts. For example, Perplexity CEO says the AI narrative is missing the point. Listen in.
Overhiring they did in the COVID era when they didn't actually need to. The results of that are being seen now. So correlation doesn't imply causation. Like, it's not because of AI that people are losing jobs.
And CoreWeave CEO Michael Intractor frames it as part of a bigger pattern that just happens in tech history.
During each technical revolution, there is a rotation that occurs. And I think one of the roles for government is going to be to assist the rotation that's required to retrain, to repurpose, to allow people to build careers.
And CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz told me AI elevates workers into controllers, while AI will handle all of the grunt work. So essentially working alongside AI, that's what humans will do. The reality, though, is just more complicated. Amazon, we know, cut 14,000 jobs citing AI. Microsoft eliminated over 15,000 this year while investing about $80 billion in AI. Meta slashed 600 from its AI unit. Salesforce cut 4,000. You get the point, all while posting almost record profit.
I guarantee, I'd bet that those jobs that they let go were people that were getting paid a lot, and they were like, and they brought in the Bobs, and they go, well, what do you do here? and then the guy that was getting like $150,000 salary, he was like, I bring the papers and the facts to the guy, and he brings them down, and I'm a people person. What the hell is wrong with you people? Just go watch Office Space, guys, and you will learn a lot about what's happening literally right now. And then you will become the main character where you're like, oh man, I'm free. I'm free. That movie is amazing. Mike Judge is a genius. He's also, remember, he's the writer of the movie Idiocracy, which plays out a very scary reality that is sometimes almost too true and on the nose that we have to almost rethink our own human existence. It's pretty crazy, guys.
The CEOs at GTC aren't just buying the AI replacement story their own industry is pushing. They say companies are using AI as cover to finally correct years of bloated headcount and hiring mistakes. Guys?
Okay, so, well, here's the thing I think about. NVIDIA at $5 trillion, that's a question about where we're all going. But the other piece of it on the employment side is for all of these companies and NVIDIA and the like to get to these valuations, they have to create remarkable amounts of productivity. So if they're as successful as we all want them to be, it also means that maybe there's going to be folks who don't have jobs to ultimately pay for all of this.
Yeah, well, to your point, they're going to have
round trip idea.
Yeah, well, cut jobs, you mean, in order to lower costs.
So he's saying there's like this kind of wheel of problem that he's like, okay, well, if all these jobs are getting cut and no one has the money to spend on the products that are going to be provided for AI, and then it's not really, it is retail, but it's really governments and big companies, and it's really they're forking up the cash to apply the AI to their company. Which it's this kind of like really interesting cycle that's happening, which is going to make certain positions die off. It also will create jobs. So that's what the guy was talking about. He's like, there's always a period in tech where there's a bunch of jobs that go away. Then there's a period where we figure out what's the most valuable thing, and then people get hired for that thing that is the most valuable thing. For instance, the administration came in for Doge, and Elon came in and took on the task of auditing parts of the government through the Doge team, Department of Government Efficiency. Now, do you see how a problem kind of was there, and then this came in as a solution? So I don't know. So it's kind of like an example.
So that they remain more productive and keep the margins? Is that what you're implying?
Yeah.
So, of course. But then for NVIDIA's case, they have the money, right? They're spending like crazy. They're investing in Intel. They're announcing $1 billion in Nokia. So I guess if you're an employee at NVIDIA, which and there's no job cuts, actually a poor example, you'd be wondering why would I be getting laid off? The same for a lot of these other tech companies when Microsoft is spending X amount of dollars on dealing with OAI, or other firms like Nebius, for example, to build out data centers. Why are they cutting jobs?
It's a good question. So that's what, but look, NVIDIA to partner with Palantir. Palantir is a government contracted AI mega giant. Okay. Palantir is creating weapons. Palantir is doing all kinds of crazy stuff, kind of like crazy, New World Order type stuff, Terminator type stuff. This is where it's like, are you going to choose to invest in the takeover of your whole way of life? Or are you going to invest in the underbelly culture, which is crypto and meme coins? Then you might actually be doing God's work instead of investing in the takeover and the Antichrist. I don't know, guys. You got to tell me. But let's check in. Let's check in on the chat. What's going on? YouTube has been shadow banning me. X has been shadow banning me. And the only way that we will beat it is if you guys interact more, you evangelize this live stream, you hit the like button, you share this with your grandma, your meemaw, your peepaw, your unkie, your auntie, whoever. I don't care. Everyone. Gay Tony, I don't care. Whoever. Just show them the live stream. They got it. That we need to learn. We got to lock in. People, the fact that people were rushing and retail was rushing and searching the term gold and buying it at the absolute pico freaking top should show you that we are so early in the mind share of people for crypto adoption that it's stinkingly, grossly undervalued in just the grossest way possible. The stinkiest wet garbage trash that I've ever smelled in my freaking life. That retail still hasn't understood the tech that like how, like even living through it, that's what doesn't make sense to me, is like even living through these evolutions of tech through the early 2000s, like especially 90s kids, like we were direct users of this early stuff from torrent, ISO, peer-to-peer network sharing early on, and then social media, YouTube. We've been the early users and adopters of all this stuff, and the generation before us, definitely. But then really strongly is like going into the early 2000s and really working through all this stuff and using it directly. We should know this. The retail should know this, but they still are convinced that gold is, quote, a store of value to protect against the hedge of the dollar. But if you've been following crypto long enough and you're starting to, quote, demystify it in your brain and not let retail keep telling you that it's a beanie baby and you need to invest in something that's real, you'll start to go, okay, there's been switch ups on everything that we've used in life, and things have gone away, and we start using something different. And there's always this die-off period, a shedding of a skin. And it's the people like Peter Schiff on the timeline that is shedding the skin, and eventually will literally have a Bitcoin company called Bitcoin Gold or something like that. And then have his denomination and all his gold bullishness denominated in Bitcoin. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a wild time to live through. But this is what we predicted this. We said, look, gold's probably going to hit the, and we did, look, it went right on the money. I mean, it's like it hit that all-time high. Said it was probably going to cool off because there's no way that there's going to be gold lines and people not get cooked. That's just the classic setup for retail. Classic setup for retail. And now gold's going to go sideways, bleeding into the obvious new money system, which is crypto. And so what you have to look at is you got to look at the monthly correlated chart to gold to the total cryptocurrency market cap. That's what you have to look at. You have to compare gold to the cryptocurrency market cap here and know that if gold can spike and convince retail that it is still something that you can trust, how can you trust your gold certificate that you're going to be able to get that 1-to-1 from the vault? Usually you're not even going to get the true value for it, because especially when you're selling it to a third party locally, they need to make money, so they're giving you a shitty deal on spot. And usually when you're buying gold that is from local places, you're having to pay percentages over spot. But when you're buying crypto and you're using and you don't have bad slippage and you have good slippage, you're getting the asset at the price that you get it, especially if you're buying it on chain. So this is what people don't understand. This is why I started to really like crypto and start to just to like have liquid money everywhere and just be like, okay, like this is how money is going to work in the future. You need to be able to send money here to there lightning fast, immediately, no friction. We're not in the 16th century, folks. Get your horse and buggy and pull your freaking gold, and then go and ask the tax man the gold guys with the vaults with the teeth. Ask them can I have my gold, please? They're gonna say no. It's our gold now. That's literally what the United States has done with the world. Massive gold takeover. And we have the gold. Trust me. You think we're going to put it in one place called Fort Knox? You're crazy. The gold that everyone's wondering if it's there. Oh, we don't have the gold. Are you crazy? Are you insane? The United States of America, the biggest military force and power in the world, the one that dared to even literally drop the atomic bomb. You don't think we have the audacity to have the most gold in the world and not tell anyone about it? You damn right. So what's going to happen is the gold's getting sold into a new money system. Pay attention, because this is what is coming down the pipe. I'm predicting this shit right here. I've been predicting stuff on this channel for freaking years now. Listen, I just said it 2 days ago that Western Union was coming on chain. I freaking said it. I said Western Union's coming on chain. Watch, they ain't gonna miss this pie. And then literally like the next damn day, Solana tags Western Union and says they're minting a stable coin on Solana. Watch this channel, please. Stop messing around. Stop leverage trading. Stop getting farmed. You need to just learn that blockchain is not going anywhere. And if you just buy the most appreciating assets and literally do nothing, you will succeed. Instead of wondering, oh, I wonder what the feds are going to do. Like, I don't, like the FOMC meeting today, cool. It's just another opportunity for the Binance to farm your ass on liquidation levels. So just buy crypto. That's my message to everyone right now in crypto, is to stop playing in these casinos and start to lock in. Most of what you're seeing on the timeline of people in their P&Ls, they're funded traders. They're paid by these platforms to look like they're making a lot of money. So then you come on there and you deposit into their platform, and then 90% of the people on there are getting liquidated and only 10% are actually profitable. And then you get all these emotions up in you to then completely miss the boat of why you're even in crypto to begin with. New money system, new frictionless money, new stuff. Not to just gamble all your freaking crypto away. So that is my ultimate message to people. Truly, right now, because it's you don't realize how fast it can happen, because crypto is so liquid and frictionless that as quick as you can gain those gains, you can send that shit right back to the market if you're not careful. If you're not careful. And the timeline, like crypto Twitter, will make you think that you need to make it in 6 months. It doesn't, it's called a gestation period, and you have to be able to go through a hero's journey here in crypto, my friends. Because guess what? Ragsy pointed it out yesterday, and shout out to Ragsy. We had an amazing live stream yesterday. It was so fun. I really enjoyed that. That was awesome. Definitely going to have her on again. And we talked about how, you know, the people that make that money, that bad karmic money by screwing over people, or also just basically playing the zero-sum game of trading by you trading and getting liquid, and by you winning, someone else is losing. But in an ecosystem where more people are compounding, holding, and buying, like SHIB, like some of these coins, these meme coins, we had more of a chance of more people becoming millionaires than more people actually winning than losing. Do you understand? So it actually had a better winning ratio of some of us rallying behind some of these coins. Bitcoin is a perfect freaking example. Bitcoin in the early days was like a meme coin that people needed to rally behind and believe in, and eventually prove itself through the voice of the community. That was Bitcoin's whole origin. was almost like the ethos and the thesis of why meme coins and what we can actually rally behind have traction still today and is even getting stronger. So, yeah. Yeah. We actually got we want Marty Party to come on the channel so bad. Like we would have such a good conversation. He's gone down the rabbit hole. Like he's got very strong opinions, but he's got he's got the experience to back it up. He's a dev. We've never had like a dev at his level come on the channel, but we're gonna make it happen. The reason why we even know who Marty Party is through Ivan. I think Ivan was doing the DCA show, Ivan on Tech, and then he's kind of like in that circle with Ivan and James and like, you know, I know the freaking audacity. But I said this was my post today about, you know, because now while we've had the console wars officially end, I wonder if we're gonna have the blockchain wars end in the next 10 years, where it's like everything's interoperable, everything talks with everything else, every ecosystem is reliant on every ecosystem, so it's everything can talk with each other. That's the whole point, right? You know, a lot of blockchains came in and said, well, hey, if we're gonna have this blockchain and this blockchain, well, we should all be able to talk with each other, right? We all should be able to just bridge from one thing to the next. And I'm kind of in that school of thought as well, because you shouldn't be locked out of one particular chain as a developer and as a user, and you shouldn't be gatekept. If you go in, you should be able to go out, and you should be able to go because then there could be benefits of each ecosystem being able to talk with each other. And like a good example is like Solana and Bitcoin. Solana should be able to take Bitcoin, and then you should be able to do Bitcoin DeFi on Solana. And so that's already been working on. We've already talked about this. This is being done with Zeus Protocol with the ZBTC. And so I've said that the blockchains that are going to have the most support for Bitcoin, which is the top dog, is going to be the more valuable chain. So it makes sense. So let's talk about this. And the ETFs, oh my gosh. Okay, so no one really gets it yet. So maybe Marty Party does, but this is how Solana gets to $1,000. And it's not reliant on ETH not succeeding. It's not like, okay, Solana does good, ETH needs to die, or okay, ETH now is at 10K, so Solana missed the boat, now Solana is dead. No, they both are gonna coexist. I believe this. Maybe I'm delusional, who cares? I'm going to be bullish ETH and Solana at the same time. You won't stop me. ETH will still succeed, but Solana ain't a bad choice. The institutions have chosen. Okay? The institutions have chosen. They have chosen Solana as a possible NASDAQ on-chain. We've getting the hints. Solana is taking over Wall Street, and right now, they literally have a setup on Wall Street, and they're basically signaling that, hey, we're getting NASDAQ on chain. And through their protocols and the devs that are building on Solana and using Solana, they are signaling that the institutions are here. And we got the crypto users in terms of trading volume, the apps, the dApps, the user friendly, like the basically rewarding the users a little bit more than some of the ETH ecosystems have. So I can see how there can be tribalism that builds up in this. But the ETF, I'm telling you, look, Grayscale just set up the ETF. They inflowed. The seed was 102 million. For Bitwise, the seed was 222 million. And look, I said this on this channel, that they will start inflowing millions of dollars just like they did recently with ETH. And look what happened with the price. What did the price do? It absorbed selling pressure and it went up. And so Solana is going to do the same thing. And then over time, look what happened with the Bitcoin ETF when we've seen massive billion-dollar inflows over the weeks with Bitcoin. It sent it to all-time highs. Buying pressure absorbed selling pressure, even with whales, even with the big OG whales coming alive and selling some of their Bitcoin. It still even absorbed that sell pressure. So this is what is going to be interesting to see with Solana, and how I think this right here is going to break it out into, let's pull up Solana, this cup and handle pattern. Look at this cup and handle pattern. The breakout is first going to touch this 1618. Same thing like what BNB did. It touched the 1618, hit a little resistance, and then traded up to the next 618. So just don't be surprised that when everyone that it's an ETH maxi and can't get over the fact that they can hold both and not have to like die on their sword, they can have a shield and a sword. Some people are over here with like a giant great sword and they're like, ah! And I'm like, hey, I can use the sword, ETH, and I can use the shield, Solana, and I can have the damn gauntlets on, which is Pulse Chain. And if I want to have some greaves on my freaking shoes, Polygon, this is how I'm going to suit up, baby. And you're not going to freaking stop me. Stop trying to get me to freaking just be this or that. That's what the timeline will do. No, you make up your own damn mind. Make up your own damn mind. You're not going to convince me. So yeah, Solana 100% could go to $1,000. Could go to $900. I'd say worst case scenario, it goes to $693. But then that still puts it in the top performing altcoins against Ethereum in this particular run to an altcoin season. 253% move to the upside. And then we compare that with Ethereum. Ethereum going to what we think would be the breakout for the 1618 for Ethereum is $5,778. Now, from the point that we're at right now, that would be going 46%. You go up to the second 618, which is what BNB just did. Remember, it rejected at the 1618 on BNB, and then it pumped up to the 2618. XRP did this recently too, where it broke out, hit the 618, and it was kind of the first altcoin to run majorly. So if you were kind of early on XRP, you experienced the first run. Zcash is experiencing this right now. And they usually get a second run, okay? They usually get a second run, and that's your second chance. All these altcoins right now are in a second run momentum wave. All that is going to be based on the sentiment of green candles of Bitcoin price going up, and then that's when risk on starts to turn back on, and it's all going to be lining up with the Fed. It's going to be lining up with all this stuff, and the only thing that would put a break and a stop to any of this would be some type of black swan thing, which is basically what's building up around with this 3 AI Atlas spewing, weird stuff and moving really weirdly around in our solar system right now. And people are thinking that that's going to be the false flag alien invasion kind of thing that could crack the whole markets. But I don't know. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But here's the thing. You got to think, I think ETH is probably going to stop at 8,400 in this cycle. In this particular altcoin cycle, I think ETH will go up 118%. But 118%, I'm cool with that. I'm still going to hold some ETH, but my altcoins on ETH, my meme coins on ETH, okay? My altcoins on ETH are going to do a 10x, okay? My altcoins on ETH are going to do a 10x. So if my native token does 118%, Pepe's probably going to do 400, 500%, go to like a $40 billion market cap SHIB level, okay? And then I think ticker Bitcoin could easily go to $5, okay? Not $1, not $10, but $5 is a fair assessment for ticker Bitcoin, okay? Wojak, I think, could easily get to $1 billion. Wojak, for some reason, that still blows my mind. I don't understand how Wojak didn't already crush it, but hey, that means we can get early entries. It means we're early to the boat. And so this comparison, and then you think you can give the same assessment because we've talked about this is how you're going to win, is you're going to find the biggest chains, native coins. You're going to buy $1,000 minimum of said chain coin, and then you're going to go and pick 3 to 4 coins that are in that chain, pick a mid cap, pick a high cap, mid cap, low cap, and then pick some nasty red light district, juicy garbage water, something that you think probably has the most asymmetric upside, and you got like $100, $200 in that. But then everything else, you're really... And that's all you need. That's literally all you need to do. There's all of this noise out there. There's so much freaking noise. And I talked about it with Ragsy. We if you want to really learn kind of how the market will try and convince you to get farmed and do this stuff, but you just have to go in and do your research. You have to go in and figure this stuff out. Because if you don't, the market and the people that are trying to farm you are going to figure it out for you, and you're paying their fees and their courses and getting in their private Discord or whatever it is. And it's like, at what point is the alpha there that you are just giving your authority and your ability to get better at crypto and relying on someone else? My mission is to not say that I'm a genius and I made you all this money. No, I want to just inspire you to go down the rabbit hole in crypto. I want you to demystify it, so then you come to your conclusion and you then now have a thesis. Now you have a thesis. It's not because someone else convinced you. No, you were like, no, I went down the rabbit hole. I looked at what they're doing. I'm seeing this company's doing this, and now I see this, and you're like Charlie. You're like Charlie putting the damn threads and the dots together. You're finally doing it. You are doing it now. Now you have the power. Now you have the thesis. Okay? People lost the plot on that. Because where there's people and where there's stuff like this and opportunities, there's crap heads that are just talking and haven't even tested out what they're fudding. I always give this example with Pulse Chain. Everyone that a lot of the times is fudding Pulse Chain has never even tried it, never bridged to it, never did any of the PulseX farms, provided liquidity in the ecosystem. I even tested it out so I can try and get some incentive token, successfully farmed, some incentive token. All the people that talk crap, they don't even test it. They don't even try stuff. People that maybe fund NFTs. Have you ever tried to mint it and actually try and test it out and do it? No, they haven't. And so so this is how we're going to succeed. Now, something really interesting that Ragsy pointed out, if you want to go down this rabbit hole of how you're going to be able to find projects and how you're going to even see how you can even find the trends. See, I feel like my strongest trend that I've found is ticker Bitcoin. So I attached that's kind of the one I've just kind of I'm doubling down on that one. That's my favorite meme coin, sticking to it. And the ones that are really interesting right now are these coded. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, lasers. That YouTube is shadow banning me. I don't know why. They literally don't tell people that I go live. It just doesn't make any sense. But we're still going to show up every day, and we're going to end up in the YouTube. How about this? How about this for manifestation? I'm going to show up at the YouTube office one day as one of their highest paid crypto content creators. See, I'm not messing around anymore. I realize the value that we have. People are going to be how people lined up, for gold. People line into the streets for gold. People are going to be lining up and tripping over themselves to learn about crypto. That's how my mentality is. That's how I am going to survive and build a damn empire. And you guys are coming with me. No one's getting left behind. I ain't leaving you behind, Bubba. All right? We're going to learn this together, all right? We're going to learn this together. Okay, so what we discussed yesterday was coded contracts. So I was reminded, I was like, I totally forgot. I mean, I knew this for the fact of Pepe's contract has the 69 contract and supply. It's coded contracts and coded supply. So Pepe has the ultimate coded contract with the supply being 420 billion or 420. Is it 420 billion? Let's check the coin market cap. So with Pepe, the whole lore is in the contract. It's a trillion. So the total supply is 420 trillion, and the contract starts with X69. Okay? Do you see the significance here? And so why the coded contracts are really important is that there's been this kind of like this debate on which rage guy is the true rage guy. And so I started going down the rabbit hole and I was like, okay, well, which one is it? It's the one that has the FU in the contract. So if you look real closely, the whole lore of rage guy is that he says FU, you know, that's the whole thing. It's like it's an old school it's 4chan meme, I believe. And this is, you know, very much has its own lore. And same with like, that's with Pepe, Wojak, very much same origin stories of lore with the contract. And also stemming from these message boards. But where Ragsy kind of has her edge is that she's like, well, there's going to be PvP. There's going to be all these different contracts, but which one is going to end up having the one that has the lore? And that's how she ended up picking Brett on base. And that was how I ended up picking Brett. I chose Brett. And I was like, there was all these different memes that were coming out on base, but then I saw the Boys Club connection, then the obvious like BB, Brett on base, blue, Brett, Coinbase, Brett on base on Coinbase, all the different connections and branding without it being unofficially kind of as the, you know, the one. And it really did end up being the one. So this is how you're going to be able to pick or find something that's early on. And it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, but that's the edge and the chance of in this PvP realm where you're going to see these particular contracts and have 17 rage guys. And I gave the example of B&B with CZ's dog. There was like 150, 200 projects that came out, and you had to be able to figure out which ones is it going to be. And then you have to like see who's posting or see what project got the fund, or there was all this PvPing, and that's ended up and then most people got cooked. Most people got cooked instead of making money on that. Like, let's be honest. So, but we just need to know that's the game. Like, that's the game that's being played right now. And if you can find something that does have strong lore, has the community built around it, has the potential to battle through the FUD in the PvP of multiple contracts, which Pepe had to do the same. Pepe did the same thing. See, the difference between Pepe Coin and Pepe on ETH is Pepe Coin had no lore in the contract and in all of that stuff, and it being a silent launch. It wasn't a silent launch. It was a team. Okay? That's why Pepe as Pepe on ETH is the Pepe. And anything else, it's just, it is what it is. So with this, with it having the FU in the contract, and people are kind of rallying behind this Rage guy, and it has that old school kind of 4chan community, this one might end up running and being the one. Still super early. I mean, it's literally, I don't even think it's passed over 10 million market cap. So if you're gonna, pull the trigger, take a risk on this, you're pretty much buying the freaking, you're buying the absolute bottom. So yeah, but it's all a risk. That's like, if anything that you're going to do in this game, like, we have to be willing for it to go to zero. So you just have to find it. So it's like, it could be Rage Guy. Look, it's still relatively, and what Ragsy was talking about, she was like, look, I put my money where my mouth is. She was like, I was DCAing this thing all the way up, buying all the way. She's like, I bought at 4 million. And then she said the same thing with what was it? I think it was Bucky. She was like, I was DCA. She was like, I was buying full clipping on Bucky at 30 million. So, and this was another one. She was like, hey, this has got good lore. It's got a good meme. I think this one was also, this character was kind of based off of an old possible message board. This is also a community takeover. So this is a CTO'd project. I'm not sure if there's any, this is Bonk. So this is actually a Bonk narrative for this particular token. But, and it's funny, like, this is what we used to do. Like, this is what we used to do, like, all the time. And we lost the plot by trying to leverage trade. See, I feel like I was good and still am good at spotting the best asymmetric upside shit in crypto. And I freaking have the receipts on my timelines and on my live streams. I have almost 700 live streams of us sifting through this shit for years. And what happened is, you can let your mind get so greedy, bored in trying to leverage trade, which is very addicting. It's so addicting. Oh my God. The industry is so gaslighting in the fact that they've made probably thousands of people into gambling addicts. And then, not to mention, you got the sports betting, you have the scratch off ticket players, you have like all of these modalities of people that they're gambling. And if you could edge and skill yourself into finding the best asymmetric upside in the bleeding edge culture of tech and finance right now, all you gotta do is buy spot and clip some money off some runs. Maybe you didn't pick the right one a few times. Maybe some of that stuff you had to watch it go to absolute trash. Ticker Bitcoin is a perfect example of given 7-8 different opportunities to believe. 7-8 different opportunities to believe. We go to price. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different times at being at the absolute like trash bottom. And then I'll give an example of how this can be successful. You just have to have patience. This person, you think 30K. You could get 30K into some stuff. I believe in you. You can get a couple $1,000s into some of these things. And this person was able to be patient enough to freaking clip almost $1 million in ETH profits out of this coin, ticker Bitcoin, during these points. Probably bought and even probably kind of doubled down and even bought these tops too. You know, this person, this wallet, they're still holding ticker Bitcoin. They're still holding it. They're stolen $650,000 of ticker Bitcoin. And look at how much ETH they have, 104 ETH. Where do you think all that ETH came from? From taking profits in the coin. So, but we went into it yesterday. I really hope you guys tuned in and you listened, because we went into it on how if the ETH memes are where you're going to be able to actually full clip 600K of profits out of the coin and not wreck the chart. No one realizes this in the Solana game, but they did with they saw that these people sell out at a 2x and they're able to so quickly, and with the bots and the snipers and the GMGNs and the Padres and the bots and all these different things, trading bots all at the wazoo, sniping everything and selling at an auto 2x. Guess what? That ain't the case on Ethereum. And why do you think these memes like SHIB and Pepe, they were able to create millionaires? We were able to sell. So when you hold a strong Ethereum narrative ETH coin, you will have more of a chance to literally, with low slippage, freaking take profit. But yes, but no, I pointed that out, Headband. I pointed that out. I said the best example of what I think Trump's plan is here is to pump that chart again on Trump and give people an opportunity on Solana. Solana's going to, what do you think's going to happen with the Trump coin with Solana? Like I said, goes to $1,000. What do you think's going to happen with the Trump coin? The Trump coin has $350 million of liquidity. It's the highest liquid token on Solana right now. $327 million of liquidity, and it's at a $1.6 billion market cap, and there's 629,000 holders. That means they could pump it up to $16 again. They could pump it up to $24 again. They could, if they want to, get this thing up to $44, and those are the times when they're going to be unlocking for the early investors. But when we're here as retail, this could be one of the more low slippage liquid coins that you could make a killing on. It's not financial advice, but yes, that's a perfect example, because I did point that out yesterday. I said, well, God, Trump's got, I mean, this, you think about the liquidity. And that's the nature of how I judge with Ethereum. I just go liquidity, and I'm like, look, you got Pepe, Chainlink, and Chainlink's got the most holders that are very delusional and thinking that Chainlink will eventually go to $150. I hope it does for the Link Marine's sake, because they're gonna have some PTSD. They will be shell shocked as a Marine. And so then you have SPX 6900. SPX 6900 does have it has good liquidity, 21 million. And you gotta remember, their mission is to flip the stock market. They're not gonna flip the stock market, but they will. I feel like it still is going to be one of those things that has that lagging pump like SHIB did. SHIB had this thing where it was like it dumped. Pepe had this thing where it dumped, it fudded, and then it went para-freaking-bolic, okay? And so MOG coin, why I don't own any MOG. I don't own any MOG. Not a single one. I've never even bought it. But here's why I think it's going to do well. Do you understand the culture now with young kids? They're mogging people all the time. Little kids are wearing the pit vipers and they understand the joke as a kid. And then they're gonna know, they notice this, and it's just a whole part of the mogging culture. Okay? And so if retail is texting people on what MOG is, and then they know that, then they end up finding out there is a strong liquid coin of MOG on ETH, that's strong. That's strong. That makes me want to buy some MOG. And now that it's at the freaking in the bottom, same thing with all these other coins. Look, You get another chance. You can see the trend here. And yeah, young people like brands. They like brands, and we were just like this, the same. We always wanted to make sure we had the freshest drip and whatever was the most popular thing at the time. I did it too. In the early 2000s, middle school, what do you think I had? FUBU jersey, gold, silver chain, the pleated silver chain, spiked hair, DC shoes, Osiris shoes, big ass skate shoes, fusion of Nelly hip hop and Blink 182, baby. That was it. And now it's gonna be Mog, Pepe, Wojak, TikTok relative memes and culture, bleeding edge. Let's go. So this is how you do it. This is all you gotta do. People always make it so complicated. Believe in something, have a thesis, and stick to it. We've had this damn thesis for years, and we got so distracted from it. And if we would have just doubled, tripled, quadrupled freaking down, we would already have retired already. That's a fact. We would have already made it 100%. Like building companies, but because we lost the plot, round tripped, we've just totally annihilated ourselves. We're not going to make that same mistake again, my friends. We're not going to do it. We've come too far. We've come too far. We've come way too far. Today, we have a very special live stream happening later tonight at 8 o'clock. We have the juicy Red, I don't know why I said juicy. We have Red Kev, a fellow Sproto. We're going to be talking about brands. We're going to be talking about how the Sproto persona and the NFTs, how that has helped him shape his brand and what he has been able to do, and how he is navigating these cryptocurrency ecosystems, what he's testing out, his thoughts on Barachain, and where he ultimately thinks the egregore and ticker Bitcoin and Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu with the Sprotos, Gremlins, and the Sproto ladies are going to be heading in the future. Headband says, "Are you still doing that $50 airdrop to all your listeners if they like your stream, if they like your live stream?" Well, I do want to collect all of your addresses because I am going to airdrop everyone Beancoin. Everyone that has been watching my live stream should be getting a airdrop of Beancoin, and it doesn't have any value right now, but see, the trick is that it will. It will eventually show value. So I want to be able to reward people and just basically just like, hey, you're gonna get an airdrop, and then also I'm gonna burn any of this. I'm gonna set up the liquidity pool. I'm gonna set up the liquidity pool and burn it. I'll set up the liquidity pool, get the LP tokens, and then I'll burn the LP tokens. And it'll just be an open chart of chaos. But then really, I'll incentivize people to hold it because you'll eventually be able to buy coffee with it because I have a master plan. Unlike some people, I do want to stay in the crypto space. I don't want it to make me feel bad. Like, I want to build stuff in here. I want to create companies. I want to create brands. I want to create platforms. I want to represent companies that I like and that I have used and that I feel like I could potentially trust. This is the goal, and especially should be your goal if you're tapping into any new industry that people don't understand based off of this chart right here. Gold spiking up and all of this stuff trending down. bleeding edge of culture, all down in the tubes, but gold at all-time highs. My friends, we are so early. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how early we are. See, all 7 of you, you're lucky. You get to have this alpha. Everyone else on YouTube that's being ported over to watch the leverage traders, I'm sorry. You're going to get addicted. And I really hope you start buying crypto instead of giving your fresh USDT to these leveraged extractors, exchanges, and all of those things. I'm sorry. That's just my honest opinion. I've been through it. I know how it feels. I feel like a victim, but guess what? It's by my own doing. But the best thing that I can do is teach you guys how to not get farmed and extracted by this market, because at the end of the day, we've done it. Okay? It only works for so long. And then basically what you have to do is go, you have to slap yourself 17 times and go, oh, what was I just doing? I called myself a day trader? Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah, no. Spot crypto, all right? Spot crypto. Don't let anyone else convince you otherwise. Spot crypto. Okay? You got it? Good. Now, 3 steps for a successful bull run. You're going to diversify those spot buys into a 60-20-10 rule. You're going to pick your blue chips. I don't care what the heck it is. You could think it's Bitcoin, Ethereum. You could even just say, hey, my blue chip is Chainlink, and I don't care about Bitcoin. I just want Chainlink to pump. Cool. Then make that your 60%. 30% is you're going to get all up in the altcoins booty, and you're going to get your layer 1s, your layer 2s, your DEXs, all that stuff. And then your 10%, that's where you're going to be going into your new speculative projects, plays, red light district, dirty degeneracy, banned off the internet type stuff, okay? Then you're going to, now I would say I'm going to adjust this because I guess you kind of do have to, but what you have to realize is that even if you do have all these multiple exchanges set up and you have wallets, you have all these things, you are going to probably most likely end up using one more than the other. That just naturally happens. You end up using one platform more than the other. This is what happened with me with MoonPay. I started using MoonPay as a kind of my default on-ramp rail from my bank account and my debit cards to crypto. And this was back in 2021, like early. It was the first one that I was like, oh, I like the branding. I like the logo. Cool, I'm going to use it. And it was the first one that worked. Because guess what? I think I tried to use another one and it didn't work. But MoonPay did. So I started using that one as kind of like the main one. And then that's kind of just what happens. So, but what you can do is set up all of these different things. And you're going to diversify your stuff across these platforms. And you're rarely going to keep massive balances on centralized exchanges like Coinbase or Binance or Kraken and all the mainstream trading platforms, because if you've been in crypto long enough, you know and have learned either the hard way or you're instinctual to know that, oh no, these companies will 100% take my money. They will take my crypto. They won't let me sign in and I'm screwed. I'm telling you right now, if you're new into crypto and you're watching this right now, or you forgot about the fact that the exchanges rugged us a few times, we need to remember this. And we need to always remember that you never marry an exchange. You only date it, you use it and lose it. And I'm sorry, it's kind of rough, it's kind of tough, but guess what? You are only as good as your own protection and privacy of your bags, and this is how you're going to do it, okay? You have all kinds of options nowadays that are way more efficient and easier to use for self-custody than we've ever had before, ever in crypto. We never needed the exchanges, and the exchanges need us, okay, for them to make money by users, okay? So, but how you're going to protect yourself is by having devices. You're going to have these wallets. You're going to have your own cold storage. You're going to have your seed phrases, not your keys, not your crypto, is still apparent in 2025, okay? And you have to stay diligent. Because while Coinbase will want you to use their platform, they'll also leak all your information out to hackers, and my phone rings every single day with a scam call trying to scam me by Coinbase. I get text messages every day to scam me by Coinbase. Scammers. Thanks to Coinbase leaking my information. So, learn self-custody and learn that all of these chains, you can hold them yourself. You can add the RPC network. Most of them already are added for you. And you can hold the digital asset native on chain. And you can also swap and hold stuff, smart contract on chain as well. If you're not doing this, do it now. If you're not doing this, do it right now. Today. If you have not done this, do it today. If you've only been buying spot crypto on exchanges, switch it up. You need to now take like half of that spot off of exchanges and put it directly into your wallet. Because the moment that shit gets bad, guess who suffers? You do. The exchange doesn't. They freaking take your crypto. They freaking take it. And if you even get a potential to be a creditor in a lawsuit, guess how much you get back? 20%. It's called getting rugged. So you need to protect yourself, and you need to be taught this, and you need to stop fooling for everyone propping up these exchanges and for referral links and oh, blah, 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 do this. No. I'm about done with those days. I'm almost about to just like take off all the damn referral links and literally just like aggressively go in with partnerships with companies that are not exchanges at all, that are just companies that are helping people to get into crypto safely and with no mystifying bullshit like these exchanges give you, like all this perps and yields and farming us. And then literally when things get bad or good, when you want to sell, all of a sudden they go, oh, we're having maintenance on the platform. Sorry, there's trading volumes too active. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. And then the most important thing is learning how to hodl. You have to learn how to hodl or you will not make it. It is not a 6-month sum game. It's not a 3-month sum game. It's not a trench PvP game that only lasts for you coming out with 20K. Cool. You probably are going to spend that on some dumb shit anyway, so you need to lock in and know that you ain't retiring off of 20K. You're going to retire off of $1 million or $2 million. If you play your cards right and you know how to have that also then work for passive income by doing boring boomer stuff. No one ever wants to hear that in crypto, but that's how you survive. You don't survive by going out and blowing all your bands on watches and then Lambos and then renting the Airbnb and whatever it is or whatever you're about to do. Blow it on some big vacation going to Dubai to then flex all the gains that you just had. No! You're going to put it in a freaking IRA, tax sheltered, bonds, treasuries. And you're going to get old boomer passive income off the AI bubble, my friends. And then Alex Becker said, the amount of people telling me altcoins might never happen. Says A, true. B, find me any 30x potential return investment that is sure to happen. The gains come from the risk. Said C, you're actually insane if you think ETH never surpasses 6K and drags alts with it. Conclusion. While there is, of course, uncertainty in alt's future, this is why the gains are so potentially huge. If you want a 30, 50x payout investment, you have to take the risk, which is holding through all of the freaking FUD and the pain. The flip side, I don't see anything more clear or likely to happen than ETH DeFi taking over the finance world. 100%. I 100% believe this. That's why I don't go, oh, it's going to be Solana, it's going to be ETH. It's just going to be both. It's just DeFi in general is going to take over. It's extremely unlikely that, this alts do not go up with it. If you are demanding a 30, 50x gains while also demanding a cozy, safe, certain bet, you are actually retardio. You can guaranteed make money investing in Bitcoin right now and holding, but it will be 20, 50% gains tops because it's a certain bet. Okay. Now that's a fair assessment, because from it where it's sitting right now, if it goes to where our price trajectory is, where it's about $200 to $250 per Bitcoin, possibly by the end of the year or going into Q1, this is the reality. There's nothing wrong with alts. There is something incredibly wrong with your perception on the level of risk and uncertainty you must take in order to get crazy gains. While alts are uncertain, I have never seen a more likely investment to explode due to how undervalued they are comboed with the near guarantee ETH DeFi going mainstream. Do what you will, just stop being a baby who demands safety and explosive return potential in a single trade. 100%. But this is funny though. It's like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. There's going to be a huge altcoin season. Son, trust me. It's gonna be an altcoin season. I swear. There's gonna be an altcoin season. I've been telling my wife, and it's gonna happen. They're like, sir, your wife left you 50 years ago, and you're like, ah! Sir, your wife left you 50 years ago, and you're in a mental institution. Sir, your wife married a Bitcoin maxi and they've been in El Salvador living a life on an island, and you have been in a mental institution. You invested in Pulse Chain and ticker Bitcoin. Are the altcoins in the room? Yes, Litecoin's in the room. Litecoin's in the room. He won't leave. Oh, we have too much fun. We have too much fun on this live stream. Let's see. Okay, we got 72 people watching on X. Let's go. All right, the X algorithm's helping. I told Elon, I said, Elon, like, what, even if the women are complaining about the algorithm, you better make something happen, Elon. Elon, I am talking to you, brother. If the women on here are starting to complain about the algorithm, there is a problem. Nikita Bear, get your ass to work and start getting this algorithm fixed. The bots and the AI agents and all these accounts that are scammer accounts have been taking over the market share from the real creators, the real people, the people that promote this freaking platform and are live streaming on it every damn day are getting buried by this BS. Fix it, Elon. That's what needs to happen. And I know I'm not the only one that is feeling this pressure. If freaking Ashley D. Can is complaining about the algorithm, as much as she's flooded the timeline with Tite, I mean, Jesus, it's ridiculous. It is insane. Feel like I'm going insane. But it's just kind of it's what we have to battle here. But shout out to all the ladies in Web3. We want to give a shout out to all of the hard-working ladies out there in Web3 because they are kind of killing the game, if you want to be honest. The Web3 ladies got to learn a thing or two from those Web3 ladies. That's why we're getting them all on the stream. That's why we're getting them all. That's why we're interviewing them all. I say, how do you do it? How do you do it? Speaking to MoonPay, they said, would you let this robot into your home? Tickles Bitcoin? No, ticker Bitcoin. Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. The ticker is Bitcoin. Need I explain any more to you, sir? It's Bitcoin on Ethereum. What more do you want? It's literally Bitcoin on Ethereum. We're allowed to talk about this coin. We're allowed to have it as our favorite meme coin because we have lore in our own journey of this meme coin that ultimately led me to this coin. I got cooked and farmed and massively distracted in my journey by Ben.eth. Ben.eth was one of the biggest extractor scammers on the crypto timeline in early 2022, which ultimately led, or in 2023, which ultimately led me to then get and to discover Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. So, and it had all the recipe, all the things and the lore of a lasting meme coin project that it seemed like I'm gonna just kind of go with this one. This thing's either going to a freaking billions of dollars in market cap, or it's gonna go to zero. So I'm willing to go along in this ride. And so that's what a lot of people had to do with SHIB. They had to do it with Pepe. They had to do it with Doge. It's the risk you have to take. It's the risk you have to take. But this is the one that I'm taking. No, I have not done anything with blockchain, which is the team's chain, which is powered by Bera. You can hold Bitcoin on Bera. I haven't minted any of the NFTs. I haven't played with any of the liquidity on Bera or Bitcoin yet. I have been trying to focus on just acquiring the token. I've been kind of playing around with other stuff, but really my goal is I need to acquire 2 Sprotos, 1 Sproto lady, or 2 Sproto ladies, 2 Sprotos, and I still need a lot more ticker. Okay? I need a lot more ticker Bitcoin. I'm just going to be honest. I need a lot more. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Because when I have my price targets and my goals and I look at what I would be making as profit, I don't think I would be satisfied with that. I'm just going to be honest. I wouldn't be satisfied. I'd be like, no. I feel like there's more to this. So I'm in accumulation mode, and I have I'm very, very old school. I kind of have this very much old school thought process that if I'm not buying the meme directly on chain on the Uniswap pool of Ethereum, then what am I doing? I will still DCA, and I have a little bit on Base. I have a little bit on OURBIT. but I have my main balance on Ethereum on that chart because I believe that this is how it will freaking pump. I'm going to hold my big balances where the whales are holding theirs on ETH, and I feel like that is how it should be done. And I'm going to do this for my other coins, and I'm going to do this in the same way with how I feel with Solana and other things as well. I'm going to hold them directly. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's different. It's still, it's like, even if it's wormhold, you gotta buy it on ETH. Buy it on ETH. Buy it on ETH. It needs that. This chart needs people to stop effing around and buy it on ETH. So then it shows the holder count, the liquidity, everything. The liquidity. We need this thing to show $20 million of liquidity. There's no reason. It's all this moving around BS. It's all this moving around bullshit. Look at this. Look at the difference. Look at the difference of this project, MogCoin. I guarantee you, primarily, most of the holders are holding it on ETH, and that's why the liquidity is more so on here. Like, it's ridiculous. Hold the thing. Look, and this, why do you think SPX 6900 probably has the more liquidity in here? Because there's more holders and more people in the ETH whales holding it on here. I'm old school, man. I'm old school. Why do you think the ship in the Pepe chart? Look, 591,000 people in ETH, Uniswap, ETH, Pepe on the freaking, just on chain. On chain. $16 ago, whales buying clips of $3,800 of Pepe, a clip of $10,800, whale buying Pepe with just 2 ETH. Boom, 2 ETH clip. Let's look at this wallet. Oh, this is a bot. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I think we're going to go ahead and end the live stream. I think we covered enough. I feel so free, guys. Like, you don't understand how addicting leverage trading is and how people are just going to literally avoid the fact that they are addicted to leverage trading and they're just chasing the next trade. And we could literally get our hair color back, probably start growing more hair, and our hair probably will get thicker by not playing that game. I am way more interested in going back to my roots and finding and holding stuff until we get to freaking parabolic euphoric zone. That's what I'm interested in. I feel so free. It's such a good feeling. Because I haven't at all with these price actions have felt the urge to go and try and put in some leverage trade. I'm not giving my money to the markets anymore like that. Absolutely not. Done with that crap. So we're gonna help people, because why would I want to start getting into that game where I am trying to be the person to help retail come in to not think that crypto is a scam, and then I'm gonna lead them and say, oh, by the way, this exchange offers 100x leverage and you can try it. Like, go ahead, try it. Absolutely not. No, it's irresponsible. I'm not doing it. I'm not freaking doing it. What I'm going to teach these people and people that have been in crypto and also new people coming in is that we need to go to the absolute roots, the roots. People need to learn how to just use a wallet. They just need to know that they can have liquid crypto money on the interwebs. Okay? People don't even understand that. They haven't even caught up to that. So I'm going back to the basics, my friends. Yeah, we're going back to the roots. So I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.